Hello, everyone. How are you? And thank you for joining for tonight's installment of Mudflood. Where is it taking us next? Who's here first? Hello, Donna. Oh, you are good. Thank you. Hello, Mr. 420 Wild Dragon. How are you? It's such a small world, isn't it? Thanks for joining. Much love. Debbie, hello. Love to you. And Molly, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Lisa, hello. Eight Wind is timeless. Greetings, power people. I love it. T. Witten. Sheila, hello. And Raylene, yes, I hope it's interesting. So I'm going to greet people as they come in, but thank you for those who are here. We will begin this presentation because I have lots of notes. Not that I'm going to read them all, but they are my blueprint and my outline, okay? So today's show is brought to you by, you know already, Solis Steel Structures. If you are in the market for steel structures, please contact us below. And I'm going to jump in. This is amazing information for me because this is a result of the mud flood thing, okay? I don't know how to explain it, everyone. The people that have been into the mud flood research, this is not surprising to them. I think that they are having a good time, not laughing at us, but they're just so, I think like it's a good feeling when you see people starting to wake up more, like you had this amazing thing happen, now I'm experiencing it, and it takes each of us in a different area, but still it's the same revelation of truth, right? So what this has done for me, like I said, is it has led me to wanting to read the book of Enoch. So today, everyone, I ordered a copy of the book of Enoch, and I want to show you something. Oh my goodness. Now, mind you, I did not spend this kind of money, but I want to show you how much the books can cost, okay? So if you get the antique Ethiopian Coptic manuscript, let's see, can you see that? Let me make it bigger for you so you can see it. Look at that price. Is that amazing? This is for the unique and antique Ethiopian Coptic Christian manuscript, handwritten vellum. Look at that. So this is the kind of stuff that I wasn't aware of. Let me show you one more or two. I don't know if you've seen these kind of prices, but it really shocked me. Okay, let's see if this is the one. Look at that price. Yeah, right? And one more to show you. Look at me. You know how I am with my tabs. Bear with me as I do the tabs. I want to show you one more, okay? No, that's not it. Hold it. Not the one yet. Now I got a very reasonable copy, okay, under $25. But I'm just showing you because I was surprised. You know, sometimes you just want to show people so they can see. So that's look at that. I know, right? Hey, locked for life. Can you believe that? Those prices? So I was like really amazed, okay? So this is how deep it gets for those who are into this information. What do you think? Julianne said, I paid $20 in Sedona for yours. Yeah, you really saved a lot, right? Yes, Norleen, I'm listening to the audio. And oh, I love that lion. And yeah, I'm listening to the audio now until I just ordered my copy because I want the pages, okay? Do you all understand that whole thing? Like, I love listening, but I like having tangibles, right? So that will be here, I think they said before the 11th of January. So we could start a book study on it. I want to definitely start a book study, okay? So let me go back to the slides. Just wanted to like share those prices of that's when you're really fancy with your studying, okay? All right. So let me get on the screen here. Let's see, Precious Gem. I want the book. Yes, right. I know, I do too. Oh, let's see. I think I have another Russian bot. Let's make sure the Russian bots aren't here. Adam, hello. I drew the lion in colored pencil. Oh, you drew that? Oh my goodness, Norleen. You are talented. Look at that. Look at our sister Norleen. Let's give her some love. She drew her avatar in colored pencil. Oh my, that's really beautiful, Norleen. Adam, you made it. I'm so glad you did. I'm going to say hi to everybody, okay? But I'm going to jump in because this one right here to me was like, you're getting love. Look at that, Norleen. We didn't look at all the talent in this chatmosphere. You never know who you are encountering, okay? So I love that we get to share these kind of things with each other. So, okay, like I said, this mud flood research has led me to wanting to read the book of Enoch. So as a result, I've had travels to Ethiopia, and I have a great connection to Ethiopia. So today you see I'm wearing my Ethiopian coffee dress for the occasion. It's not cosplay, okay? So if you guys try to shade me, this is not cosplay. I have been accepted into the family, okay? When I go to Ethiopia, they say, "Welcome home, sister." So what are you going to do? They've totally forced me into the family. They said, "Nope, we're not accepting it. You are one of us." And it calls me to do some research. So listen, I'm not going to get into me right now because it's too much to talk about. Okay. If I break into having a little story time, I'll see where that goes. Okay. So I have gone into this area of the research from the Tartarian mud flood research has taken me to the kingdom of Ethiopia, or the Ethiopian Empire. Okay. Wow. How did that happen? Has this happened to anybody? Because I know in the chatmosphere you follow the mud flooders. I call them the mud flooders. So I've been learning about all the mud flood people, and I have them all saved now. I'm subscribed to all the ones you guys have suggested, because the one that put me on the path of the mud flood research is our Irish brother again. You know who I'm talking about. And he made sure I knew what in the world I was looking for. And I went straight to the sources. And I'm talking like, these are like the best videos. And what I'll do is I'll try to get, why don't you all drop the names in there of some of the, the ones that are good to start out with, and just suggest that for people who are going to try to dip their toe into the mud into the mud. Okay. So let people know, share info. I love that we do that here. Okay. So bear with me as I go through this history. Who watched Game of Thrones? Who watched that series because I didn't watch it. I don't know, it just wasn't my thing, but I know everybody was just all around me that was into it. It was one of those things that took people, in completely. So did anybody here get into the Game of Thrones? Let me know, because I'm thinking this is very, very, very Game of Thrones-ish without me knowing what Game of Thrones is all about. Hello, Philo Bobcat. You said it was a great series. So Philo, why don't you do me a favor? As I'm going through this narrative, let me know if it does ring similar to the Game of Thrones whole, series, because I may want to watch it. Give me a recommendation if you think I should watch it, Philo. And let's see, Golden Crisp, you said you watched all but the last season. Oh my goodness, do you want to watch the last season? You gave up junk food for the brain in 2018. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Let's see. Tracy, hello. I saved lots of screenshots from your presentations. It's a note to got just. Oh, you absolutely are welcome to do that. I love it. Okay, so let's go right in. Okay. So we're going to talk about monarchies. We're going to talk about the Empire of Ethiopia, or the Cushite Empire, as well as the British Empire. And I want to hear what you think. I want to read, rather. I can't hear you, right? But please, like I always say, if you see something, say something. We love it. All right, so I'm going to jump in to the first slide. So as you see, my thumbnail I created was, you'll see Queen Victoria. You'll see also Emperor Tawadros II, and you'll see his son. And I'll get his name, bear with me. My notes, I have so many notes. His son became an orphan. And I'm going to tell you how that all happened. And if anybody is from Ethiopia listening right now, I would love to hear your take on things, because I wonder if this was taught in school for you over in Ethiopia. And was it something that, what's going on in Ethiopia? I haven't been there in a few years, and I just wonder about the Great Awakening, as we call it. So this was Ali Mayahu Tawadros. I'm going to try to really get that name, okay? So if you are from Ethiopia, I'm telling you, you will be such a blessing right now, okay? So I'll get these names. I'll be practicing. Okay, so we have to go through a little bit of Mudflood, Tartarian architecture, Antiquitech. So when you see this structure, what do you think of? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Hey, Madeline, you like the topic? Good. I'm glad. Anybody? Hey, Gemini Love, checking in. I'm glad you are. Thanks for continuing to share. Anybody get a thought? Molly says penis. All right. Well, that's what you see. I mean, whatever it is that you think of, like, what does it? Medieval castle. So this is in Ethiopia. So I just wanted you to realize, yes, you said it looks, yep. Is it Ethiopian? Reminds you of royalty. So I just wanted to go through a little bit just to show the architecture, technology. Middle age. Hi, Ernestina. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. All right, and look at this here. Many of the churches, the Coptic Ethiopian Orthodox churches. Yes, castles, right? Hello, Brother Salih. Salutations to you. Thank you. You think of Rome? Hi, Lyrens. Yes, all of the above, right? And here's some more. I think the one on the left is the Ethiopian Coptic Church in Jerusalem, but you can just see that it has the same stuff we're studying, the same technology, architect. Hello, Losha. I'm so glad you're here. Love you. We're just looking at Antiquitech right now in Ethiopia. Hi, Deanne. Buildings are usually power sources. Pretty cool. Thank you. Thank you. Domes and energy. Hey, Monkey Speaks. Hello. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, Tina. Tina said some structures we find all over the world. Exactly. This is probably one places that I really would love to go visit, Al-Aqsam. This is in the northern part of Ethiopia. And as you all know, the delineations between the kingdoms is not the true delineation. You know, when they started the whole mess with WW1, WW2, this was all nation building, which means they were cutting up, they were playing Casino Royale with the world, and they were just, you know, carving it up and creating their little fiefdoms and basically running their operation that way. So yes, when you think about Ethiopia, the kingdom of Cush, it extends all the way into Sudan and Egypt. So, you know, huge kingdom. So this is the church that's up in Al-Aqsam. And if you look at it, what do you think? I mean, this is Mudflood 101, right? Mudflood 101. So this is a church, an Ethiopian Orthodox church. And it's very much, everybody kind of knows this particular one. And I wanted to show you, when you think about Queen Sheba, Queen of Sheba, everyone thinks her name was Sheba. It's just like saying Queen. Makeda means queen, or Candace means queen. So it's not their actual name. So just to let you know. So when you see pictures of Queen of Sheba, Makeda of Sheba, and King Solomon from the line of David, and the house of, what is that? The house of Judah, right? House of Judah. Correct me, everyone. I'm a little rusty on my Bible facts. So is that the tribe of Judah is where King David and King Solomon descended from? And then so when you think about Solomon and Queen of Sheba, the artwork that you will see in Ethiopia will look a little like this. Has anyone seen Ethiopian art, especially religious art? So it was right. Yes, the House of Judah. There you are with the lion, right? Yes. Thank you all. Hey, Camilla. Good. Okay. So I kind of remember some things here. Yes, the House of Judah. Okay. So has anyone seen this kind of artwork? So Makeda, Queen of Sheba, this is how she's depicted in Ethiopian artwork. So if it's not familiar to you, I just want you to look at, you know, some of the features. This isn't artwork that we would be used to here. The only reason I'm used to it because I travel to Ethiopia. Camilla says Solomon is King David's son. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So this would be one of the coat of arms for the kingdom of Ethiopia, the empire of Cush. So you see how vibrant, and what kind of feelings do you get when you see this coat of arms? What do you think? Like, I just want to see what you think. It's called iconography. Yes. Thank you, Mark. Iconography. I love you all filling in, helping me. It's not just me, it's all of us together. Anybody have any thoughts on when they look at this coat of arms? Do you see any like elements that stick out? I'll go and see. As colors are beautiful, Debbie says. Very vibrant, right? Deanne says glow around the heads is common, spiritual energy or accessing energy. Yes. And so here's artwork that you would see in museums, like if you have an art museum in your area. This is how Queen of Sheba is depicted in a lot of artwork in the art world. So is there anything a little bit noticeable here with the artwork that we've seen in museums all of our lives? Anything kind of stick out for you? Let's see. I want to see what you think. Hey, Karen Scott. Hello. Ethiopia is said to have an original painting of Jesus dating back to 1108 AD. Ooh. Rasta. Oh, yeah, Madeline. Okay. Let's see. T. Witten says a lot of white people. You guys are the funniest people ever. She turned white, huh, Roxanne? And you know, this is the thing. I love that we can talk race. We can have fun. We can laugh at this, okay? You are not going to be triggered. We're going to have fun with this, okay? Because this wasn't us that did this. These are the people that took the narrative and they changed it for some odd reason. And they didn't think it out too well because we are on to them. So this would be Queen of Sheba, according to the Cabal. And then, you know, they always have to take things too far with representing something. So look at where they go. This is the progressivism. If anybody's wondering what progressivism is, we just saw the progression from Queen of Sheba, from one thing to now she's sexy. Exactly. Can you imagine? And they just go dark on us with everything. So this is why they're finished, because it's nothing good left. So this is going to be fun, and you are welcomed. Everyone is welcome to use words. Words are not off limits to one group. They are on limit. It is no limit using words. Excuse me. Okay, so we're going to start here with negus. Negus. I know you're going to laugh. Go ahead and laugh. Put your drinks down right now as I practice saying negus. Negus. Okay? Negus. However you say it. Negus. Negus. That means king. Is that a trip? That means king. We was kangs. So is there something to we was kangs? I don't know. You let me know. Let me know. If you see something, say something. Okay, so Negus Menelik II. We're going to start knitters. Yes, we're having fun, okay? We're laughing at all of this. It is all on the table to laugh at. Negrescence. I told you all that I was going to get to the bottom of negrescence. I'm not joking when I say I am like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm holding on to it, clinging on. Ernestina, the Lion of Ethiopia. There you are. Adam said, I'm not even drinking anything, and I spit my drink everywhere. I thought, you know what? I didn't give you enough warning. I'm sorry. I should say, put your drinks down right now. But anyway, I'm sorry. Just wipe off your screen there, Adam. Okay, so Menelik. So we're going to go through. This is, we've been talking about melodrama. Get yourself all cozy while I tell you some stuff about a family. Okay? Very interesting stuff. This reads like a screenplay. Yes, Precious Jim. Is that hilarious? Can you imagine? Niggas means king. I'm done, everybody. I'm so done. Put a fork in it. It's just too crazy, this world. Okay, so Niggas Menelik, here he is. And he's all A2, baby, A2. This was something that really stuck out for me. He's all A2, A2. Lyrans, right? Hey, Jennifer, everything is coming to light, exposing it all. Absolutely. He was the emperor of Ethiopia in the 1800s. Did you note the date there? Okay, so we're like going back to the future. We're going back to the 1800s, okay? And we are going to look at Negus, okay, the king. This is Menelik II. I'll go forward to his other bloodline, but I'm going to start here for now so we get a ground sort of like, what do you call it, ground floor to start from, because I think this is going to be a place where I stay for a little bit, because I'm going to take some branches off of the family and really, go into these areas more, okay? So I'm going to kick the wiki on Menelik. Okay, Menelik II. There's a language called GEs, if I'm pronouncing it right. GE apostrophe EE, GEs. Oh, GE. I have to show you the spelling. It's GE apostrophe EZ, GEGs. So that's the language. And someone was trying to outlaw the language. It's so much to this, everyone. We're going to have a lot of fun decoding and unpacking this. Okay, so Menelik II. He was born in 1844. He died in 1913. He was baptized Emperor of Ethiopia in 1889. And he was king of Sheba. Now, Sheba, I learned, is the capital city of Ethiopia, which is Addis Ababa. And I know I went to museums when I go to Ethiopia, and you just forget little facts and stuff. So it's just a reminder. So yeah, so when I say Sheba, that's what I'm talking about. Addis Ababa. Okay, so he was there to modernize Ethiopia as an empire state. And so he was transforming it, and he led Ethiopian troops against Italian invaders. So Italy factors in terms of the wars with Ethiopia. So Menelik is the son of an aristocrat, okay? And okay, so in 1855, the emperor of Ethiopia, Tawadros II, invaded the then semi-independent kingdom of Sheba. So that's how Tawadros became the emperor, because he invaded the city of Addis Ababa, which was sovereign. Okay, so it was its own, independent sovereign place. So now we're going to go into, let me see if there's anything else on King Negas, Menelik II. If I'm saying the word correctly, let me know. So here he is. He was an equestrian. Just getting some info on Menelik. Okay, so they baptize and change the names when they get, baptized. So that's one of the things that happens a lot. I won't get into all of that, but so now we're dealing with a new king. All right. So let me go to the new king, which will be Tawadros, Emperor Tawadros, Tawadros. Okay. That's still Menelik. Look at that. A2. And this was Menelik's wife, his first wife. He loved her a whole lot, but she died. And he took on a second wife. So she was his first. And you see the lions, and I noticed they're really big into pets as well. So you'll see dogs and you'll see the lions. I've never seen a group of people on the planet of the Earth, on this planet, on the planet of the Earth. Listen to me. I'm so overwhelmed because I've been studying, I've been researching, and this is so amazing to me, okay? But what I'm trying to say, I don't know another group of people who have the lion so interwoven in their culture. Can anybody name another culture on the face of this earth that has the lion so prominently? Let me know, because this is the only group of people. So I'm just saying it's very interesting. So they have their shields are very important. In fact, a lot of these shields and artifacts were stolen and taken to England. So they are sitting in many museums over in England. And I know that they are fighting to get that stuff sent back to Ethiopia. So that's something that's happening. All right. So just wanted to show you those shields. And as you can see, the Antiquitech here on the picture on the right, these are warriors. And you see the lion over there. So there you are. And I didn't go forward yet to the other, because I didn't realize I have more. So I wanted to show you that their money also bears the King Menelik. Okay, so King Menelik on the coins. And they said that he had a daughter from his first wife. So I'm not sure. I'm going to look into this a little bit more because there's some mysteries around all of the children that are claimed, as they say. That's one of the key words. You'll see, of all the kids he had, he claimed. All right. So that's a little sticking point there. So there's a possible daughter named Princess Romanework. Now we're at Emperor Tawadros II. Okay. And I'm going to practice pronunciation. Okay. So this is the emperor we're talking about now, who ascended to the the throne of the Kingdom of Ethiopia in 1855. Emperor Tawadros II. Now, this is when the intrigue starts, okay? There was they call them expeditions. That's something that the British have. They do expeditions, which means they come in and start wars. So there was an expedition into an area of Ethiopia, and the emperor, he's a warrior as well. So he supposedly realized that he was being defeated on the battlefield, and he committed suicide on the battlefield. Okay, that's the story, the narrative, and I'm going to kick the wiki on it. Okay, so they are saying that he died in 1868. His rule is often placed as the beginning of modern Ethiopia, and it brought an end to the era of the princes. Okay, his origins were in the era of the princes, and his ambitions were not those of the regional nobility. He wanted to, I guess it says, restore Solomonic hegemony. So that was something that he wanted to do. And they say that he had some rebellions by the nobles who didn't agree with his modernization plans. So it says he ultimately committed suicide at the Battle of Magdala during the British expedition to Abyssinia. Now, when they say Abyssinia, that's also another way of saying Ethiopia, but it seems to be a way of, it's like a put down, the Abyssinian thing. The British weren't saying it with respect, is something that I gathered. And let me know if that's something that you gathered as well. Now, one of the things that they did is they called him Theodore. That was one of his names, okay? So that was a little different. Okay, so like I said, he sought to unify and modernize Ethiopia. And he had moved the capital city to Gondor. Gondor. Look, listen to the names. Doesn't it sound like other things you've heard? Gondor. And his conflict with Great Britain. And they claim that he committed suicide using a gun that was actually given to him as a gift by the British. Real weird stuff. So we already know what it sounds like. Okay. So his wife, the Empress Tawadros, and their young heir, his name is Ali Mayahu. Now listen to this. This is the little boy who became an orphan. Okay, so I'll tell you the story. I want to advance more for you to see. Now this is the Emperor Tawadros, or they called him Theodore. And you can think of, tell me anything you think of with the lions, because these are the lion people. And I know I've done some work in Ethiopia, work with doctors that we're still friends on Facebook, and I'll see pictures of them, traveling to different places, and they go to a lion preserve that's there, and they are walking with the lions. So these are the men that walk with the lions, and they're holding the tail, like the end of the tail, and lions just walking. I mean, it's not in a mean way, but it's just amazing. You said he's wearing a do-rag. I love it. Oh my goodness. Molly said Abyssinian cats demand respect. Oh yeah? Lion of the tribe of Judah. Look at that. So have you ever seen these type of images? Because this is something that for me, I've seen it, but now I'm seeing it in a different light. So I want you to tell me, is this something new to your, you know, I don't know, just to your repertoire? Tell me. I like this. Let's see. Deanne says, a man who can be with lions is a real man. He committed suicide. Yeah, right. I mean, this is what they are saying. This narrative, amazing. And no, I haven't. And I wonder why we haven't seen these things. We can come to some conclusions. Dana, hey, you said those lions have ribs showing. Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, they do, right? Not sure what it means. Could probably use a. Yeah, so this is a supposed to be a drawing of the moment where he's, I guess, realizing that he's going to be defeated. So this is his son. Okay. So he commits suicide on the battlefield, and this is his son, Prince Dejazmach Ali Mayehu. Okay, so let me tell you this story. This child there was a British commander named Sir Robert Napier who went over to the expedition. He was commanding it, and he took the Empress, his mother, this child's mother, Empress Tawadros, and took her. Well, actually, he told her that she would have to go back to her homeland. So she was going to leave after, the death of her husband. And this British commander said that he was going to take the son back to England. Does that make any sense? So his mother was going to go back to her hometown when her husband committed suicide. Let her son go off with a British commander to England. Do you hear me? Is that weird? Okay, so the story says, the narrative is that she changed her mind and decided to accompany her son to England. Empress Tawadros was suffering an illness, and the stress from the death of her husband and her uncertain future. So Sir Robert Napier, he rolled out the red carpet for the two of them, the mother and son, and he called on her relatives back in her hometown in Ethiopia, and he asked the relatives what could he do for them. And supposedly her relatives told Napier he could do whatever he wanted with her. They were done with her. So that's strange. So she was very hurt by the betrayal of her family, and she was also being harassed by one of the captains. His name is Captain Speedy. And really strange. There are books that are written about Captain Speedy. So Captain Speedy was harassing the mother, and he was trying, because she was getting sick. They made it sound like her health was starting to go down. And Captain Speedy, who went over to the expedition, and he was a spy. He could go and start trouble, stir up trouble. So he was, you know how they talk about the economic hitman? They drop him in a country and then they go and start all these problems. That's what Captain Speedy would do for Sir Robert Napier. So Captain Speedy was obsessed with this boy, Prince Djazmech Ali Maeu. So he wanted to become the boy's legal guardian. So he would harass the mother and try to get her to sign papers to give her guardianship up to him. And the empress then, she was so upset by it, she asked Sir Robert Napier, the British commander, to keep Captain Speedy away from her and her sons. And Sir Robert Napier did stop Captain Speedy from harassing her and her son. So then suddenly she dies, the mother. Okay, so she dies, and now he is orphaned. He is an only child. He is orphaned. Okay, so he was left for Britain with no relative to step in. Do you buy that? So let's see. His mother was given full honors by the British troops as her body was carried to the monastery of the Holy Trinity at Chalakot in Tigray, which I'll show that Antiquitech. Okay, so listen to this shocker. This is why I'm saying this is like Game of Thrones, what I would think of. Okay, so now his mother dies, and his grandmother, she sees after the processional, the funeral processional, she passes. This is the grandmother, his grandmother, and her daughter just had a funeral. Okay, she hands a letter to Sir Robert Napier to send back to Queen Victoria of England. Okay, so it's a handwritten, hand-delivered letter to Queen Victoria asking that the Queen take care of the prince as she could no longer be of any help. The Queen educated and cared for him until his death at 19 years old. The Queen wrote about her sadness in her diary. So his mother was the aunt of Emperor Tawadros, his beloved first wife. And she was the first cousin of Empress Taitu Betul, who was the consort to Emperor Menelik. So you can see how that works. Okay, so that happens. So now this boy is an orphan. And this is a picture of Captain Speedy. So he had a thing for Ethiopian things. He wanted to dress up in Ethiopian things, and like you see, he has one of their shields, and just doing the whole, I'm calling it cosplay. And you can see the little prince. That's about the age he was, I guess, when they got him. So you say they look like actors. I mean, what's going on here? Because I am just putting this together from their narrative, and it is quite a fantastical story, isn't it? So the Queen Victoria, she educated him at those expensive schools, and let's see, some of the names of those schools, I'm going to find it, but it is very odd. Okay. So this is Sir Robert Napier. So he was the one that went into Ethiopia to that battle that ended up killing the emperor, or the emperor killed himself. He Clintonized himself. So here's Robert Napier, Sir Robert Napier, the commander. What do you think? you see something, say something. Let's see. If you see something, say something. You said posing again? I know, all the posing. This would be his Instagool account, okay? So, what's he? Yeah. Ernestina, right? I mean, they think that we have tinfoil hats, but we're not making this up. It's right there. What's going on? I just want to see. It's a whole lot of things that seem to be very similar. I'm picking up on. There you go. The hidden hand, right? There you go. Yep. There's that hand. The hand in the shirt. We all know what's going on. They can't get away with this stuff anymore. Hey, Gay Mayberry, hand in the jacket, right? Liren, you guys are all on to this. I'm not the only one going cuckoo over here looking at this stuff. So there you are. Hey, Laura. Laura says suicided again, killed off all cabal narrative, taking out the whole family, monarchy or cabal controlling the narrative. Exactly. And you know what I want to say? This is also the playbook I thought about for Disney. If you think about the little Disney stories, don't they all start out like this? It's like this is the whole genesis of the kid. His parents are killed some kind of way and the child becomes an orphan. They just do repeat, rinse and repeat, right? So exactly, nothing new is under the sun. Let me get a drink of water. Lion King, there you are. See, we're all on the same page. I'm so glad that you all see this. Hey, Chris, amen, right? Is this a trip? Orphan kids. I'm going to be getting into the orphan kids. One moment. Let me take a quick drink. Whoa, excuse me. Yes, Tina. The parents are always dead in the Disney movies. Isn't that disturbing? So nothing is new. And even Bambi, right? And I never understood that stuff would make me cry. Do you remember watching Disney movies? Because I was an only child growing up. So I loved Disney. And my mother would always take me to movies. So I would do the cinema thing and I would see like Pippi Longstockings, Saturday matinee or what was it? The Apple Dumpling Gang. Where are my Gen Xers? Don't you remember those funny movies? The Apple Dumpling Gang those are the guys that were on the Carol Burnett show. They were so funny. So I would go and I love Pippi Longstockings. There you are, another little girl who was left to her own devices, right? So you said, I cried on every single Disney cartoon. So look at how they had us like programmed to the orphan, like we'll call it the orphan program. Hello, Nebraska Bear. Gotta have all the kids at their most vulnerable so we would be groomed and pre-programmed to accept and expect it. Yes, there you are, Annie. There you are. It's so many examples. Tom Sawyer. We're going to go through all of them. I want to do deep dives because I'm going to talk about, how it may be that we have to show the historical truth about what's been happening to children the whole time, according to their narrative. Like I said, we can use their own narrative. And then we can start to see that there's nothing new under the sun, even when it comes to what happens to children. So if we go back to the future and establish this almost like a case, like a court case, you know what I'm saying? Then I believe that's how all of this will just come together. I'm telling you, I have a feeling about it. I really do. So I want you all to be encouraged and thinking about things. If you have ideas, please populate the comment section because we all learn from each other. So we're going to really go into this this is the kickoff to the study about the orphans, because I know that that's what this is leading to. This is why I came for such a time as this. We had to wake up to what's happening to children, right? Right? Rita, look, isn't this eye-opening? It really is. And Norleen, you said Anne of Green Gables. The woman who wrote it was an orphan. Yes, Mark Twain. I saw somebody wrote in the comments, Oliver. Remember Oliver Twist? So it's Charlie Chaplin popularized it. Yeah, he was called the Orphan, right? Or the Tramp. That was another name for children. Chris says, it's awesome. My son sees it without much, really, effort. That's great. Orphans, so the government can raise them, of course. Yes, that's how they take they're after the children. We're not just saying that. Okay, now we're going to go to Queen Victoria. Let me kick her wiki. Okay, so Queen Victoria, she was born in 1819, 1800s, everybody. So she was Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from the June 20th, 1837 until her death in 1901. Her rule is considered the Victorian era. Did you all know that? So when you think about how they tell us that, oh, this is Victorian architecture, this is all made up history. There's no such Victorian architecture, okay? So we are seeing the lies in how they just usurped architecture and they put their name on it, and we're supposed to believe that during her rule that all these buildings and castles went up, right? Okay, sure. So now do you see how it starts to unravel the lies? Let me see what else we can talk about with, I just thought that was interesting. I'm not going to get into her whole deal. Oh, wait, why not? Let's see. Queen Victoria. I will read. I took notes on Queen Victoria. You probably know a lot about Queen Victoria. Yes, Cinderella, another one, right? Yes, okay. So Queen Victoria, hold it. I had something about her written down. Okay. She has an amazing memorial, and I think I have it in the slides when we get to it. So it's a part of the Tartarian, and she's from the German House of Hanover. So the Germans. And one of the things they said that she would say a lot was, we are not amused. We are not amused. Do you know anybody who says that? We are not amused. The we must have been like all of her different personalities, huh? So she was crowned at 18 years old, and she was called the grandmother of Europe. She married her first cousin, and that is how hemophilia was spread into their bloodlines. Okay? So there we are. Let's look what Vicky is up to. So this is Vicky's coat of arms. Do you like it? Would you do it this way if you were Vicky? So she posted on Instagram, hey everybody, look at what my graphic designer just made. I'm so not sure if I like it. You know, I'm probably going to have him edit it because I'm not really feeling it, right? So this is on her Instagram. What do you think? A unicorn Yeah, tell me about the unicorns. What's up with the unicorn? Anybody know why they use the unicorns? Any ideas? Are unicorns real? I don't know, Madeline. Like I said, everything in this new mud flood, I don't know what's what. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster ride. It is very exciting. Anything else? Anybody? You said Alice in Wonderland? Is that what you think of when you look at her coat of arms? What is it? Anybody? Saxe Coburg? Is that the name of this coat of arms? Unicorn equals vril lizards. Oh, okay. Said magical. Hey, Sandy. Magical, Sandy says. Okay, this is Liz's Instagool account when she was a young lass. There she is, you know, just like very dramatic, right? This is how they paint her. And, you know, it's just like with anybody, they choose the portrait artists that make all of the royalty look very good. I'm not going to get into his name, but this particular portrait artist was very loved by the royals because he made them look like he used the best filters, basically, okay? He used the best Photoshop. He created his own filters. Nobody else had these filters, okay? So Vicky was like, this is my photographer, and he helps me with my Instagool account, right? She hires a social media person, right? So you say the blue sash means something. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. They appear to be angelic. Exactly. Hey, Alicia. Hi, Jennifer and all. I'm finally catching a live, but have to rewind to watch from the beginning. Thanks for all the great info, Jen. Love. Oh, thank you, Alicia. I'm so glad you're here. So I will move on through Vicky's timeline. So Vicky had a lit coronation. Will you look at her? Do you see her girl crew over here? Look how amazing this looks, okay? You see the light coming down from the windows. This is when they crowned her. So, you know, of course, when she found out that she was being crowned, she had to pretend like she was surprised. Like, you know, when people win the Oscars and everything, they, oh, I'm being crowned. Are you kidding? Of course, she knew she was being crowned. Coronation, corona. So, yes, that's right. So, this is her coronation. And you can see her favorite portrait artist has her looking fabulous in her posed picture. Look at all of that going on. Like, that is amazing artwork. I have to hand it to her. She's looking good for her Instagool, and the house is popping. This is lifestyles of the rich and famous, you know. They're going to come through the crib and see how she's living, where all the magic happens. What room do you think all the magic happens with Vicky? Anybody? So yeah, this, nothing new under the sun, right? Oh, what happened? I think we lost the filter. Uh-oh, did she fire the guy? The artwork, well, this is photography, okay? I don't think you could do as much with filters back then, but here we are. This is Queen Vicky, okay? That's Miss V to you. I knew you guys were going to do it. I'm reading. Okay, so this is Vicky. She's got her fan, you know. I can only imagine what it was like being around this chick. But my goodness. That's Vicky for you. So now we're going to go to the line again, because we're going to move our way up to Haile Selassie II for now. And then we'll pick back up on this story at another point in the timeline. Okay, so we're going back to Emperor Johannes IV. Has anybody heard about this emperor? Let me know. Are these names new to you? Have you heard a little of this history? Let me know. I see more cornrows. Yes, I want you to put a pin in that, okay, Dana? Put a pin in the fact that you see cornrows, okay? Cornrows, yes. It's very important that we remember these things, okay? It's new to you, Penny Lane. I wonder why we didn't get like any idea about some of this stuff. This is, of course, a monarch, okay? We get bombarded with the English British monarch, but there's a whole monarch going on over in Kush. And for some reason, it's been hidden. It's been hidden right under our noses, okay? But I'm just saying, you said, hello, Johannes. Are you trying to holler at Johannes the Fourth? Okay, I see you, Gemini. Okay, so Johannes was born in 1818. Okay, what's up with the 1800s? You see? Norlene says he has Spanish features. That's interesting. So that's what you detect? Spanish features. Okay, so Johannes ascended to the throne in 1871 to 1889. Okay. So there's some intrigue coming up, okay? I want to let you know about with Johannes. This was one of his palaces. So let's look at that architecture, technology. All righty. Just wanted to show you. Want to always remember to work that into the discussion. Now, here we are. Johannes has a son that he forces to take the throne by the name of Haile Selassie Johannes the Fourth. No, that's not his son. Hold it. Yes, that's his son. Yes, Haile Selassie Johannes the Fourth. Okay, so he's the son of Emperor Johannes. It was a political marriage that was forced on Empress Zewditu. Okay, so she's one of the children of, I'm going to go back over this if you're following. It is a whole lot. I have written amazing notes. So I'm going to tell you about this, okay? We're going to get into the intrigue of it all. Okay, so this man, the son of, are you following? This is like if we were doing a Tyler Perry thing or we're watching the soap opera as a melodrama, okay? So Negus, which means king, not trying to be funny, Negus, Menelik, these are his children that he acknowledged. These are the only three children he acknowledged. His oldest daughter was Escala Mariam, and she was his oldest daughter. His middle child, second child, was a son who died in infancy by the name of Aswa Wasson. And then he had a baby daughter. His youngest daughter was Sheba Rega. Okay, I want you to remember that. So we're talking about two sisters now. Two sisters of the daughters of the king Menelik II. So this is what I want you to know. Johannes made his son marry this oldest daughter when she was 10 years old. So she was forced to be a child bride at 10 years old to this guy's son. Okay? So try to follow it. It's amazing. I had to write it all down here. Okay, so this is the oldest daughter when she got to be older. This is the daughter of King Menelik II. So she is the rightful heir of the throne because she was his oldest child. His son died in infancy, and his other child was a younger daughter. So you see how the ascendancy to the throne, this is amazing because you can see directly how this woman ascended to the throne of the Kush Empire. Okay, so she became, and I'm going to tell you how she became the empress. And so these are some of the Antiquitech, like over in England. But I think actually, you know what? It could be, I have to double check where this is. Okay, so this is what happens. Listen to this, everybody. This is a mess. Okay, so this guy right here, I'm going to call him Brandon. He's the Brandon of the family. He's the uncrowned emperor, Lige Ayasu. So Lige, he became the emperor, and it was a terrible thing. He wasn't in line to become the emperor because he is the rightful heir, the empress, remember the oldest daughter? That's her cousin, okay? That's her cousin. And he went and forced his way to a throne that wasn't his. So that's why I'm calling him Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. We could say for him, let's go, Ayasu. Let's go, Ayasu. So he was a creepy dude, okay? They said he was a scandalous man, and he brought shame to the family. So he was running around with women, partying, being a real creep. And he was also very cruel to people, especially those that worked for them. He was just a cruel and scandalous man. Okay, so he had to go. So you know how Brandon had to get off of the throne? What do you think happened? Drop it in the chatmosphere. How do you think Brandon got off of the throne? I want to hear. What a creative story. I couldn't make this up, okay? What do you think happened? How did they get Brandon off the throne? There you go. Brandon's been causing problems since the 18th. Nothing new, sis. Nothing new. Let's see. He committed suicide. He was either killed or committed. No. Listen to what happened. The rightful heir, which is Empress Zewditu, she became the rightful empress. Okay, so let's see. We'll go to her. Let's see. Empress. She, of course, she's a smart woman, and she had, faithful people as well as armies. You have to have an army to do these things, okay? So she assumed her position. But at the same time, okay, listen to this, the part that happened. Empress Zewditu, she ascended to the throne in 1916 to 1930. She was the first empress. And it was a controversial, she was loved, but it was controversial because she also named Haile Selassie the first to run the kingdom with her. Okay, so that was something that the people didn't like, that she did that. So it was a big controversy that she named him as the next in line, the heir to the throne. So let me tell you about that. How she was not, they didn't like it. Boy, do I have a lot of notes. Okay, so he was a vassal. You know about the vassals? So he was named vassal to the empress. I'm not really sure why she did that. I want to figure it out. If it's something you can think of why she might have done that, I want you to help me figure some of this intrigue out. Okay, so the empress named Haile Selassie the First as the Negus, the king, and he swore unconditional loyalty to the monarchy. Okay, so it led to a rebellion. So her husband, did I tell you all about her husband? Her husband, okay, now this is Empress Zewditu, aka Ascala Mariam. Okay, so I want to tell you about her as the daughter. Norleen said you're debunking a lot of. I know, right? We have empresses. Who knew? And look at these women. I mean, this looks very regal. I don't know why these images haven't been sent out to others to kind of take this in, because this is a shocker to many people when they see this kind of stuff. You're like, what in the world? This is a lot of cosplay to pull off all of these medals and things and robes and all kinds of technology. I'm just saying it takes a lot to pull this off. If it's not real, they've really gone through a whole lot of trouble. Okay, so I may have to do a deep dive on her because you know what? I've just written notes and they are all over the place, apparently. So let's see. I'm going to get to the bottom. Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay, this is it. Thank you for being. Okay, so Brandon, okay, let me go back. This was a very complex Game of Thrones for me. Okay, Brandon, this is Brandon. He didn't go away peacefully. Why should I have thought that he would have gone away peacefully? No, he incited a coup. All right, so Brandon, here I am. Oh, my goodness, this is what happened. Brandon had Ross Wale arrested. That was her husband, okay? Because the man that's next to her is her favorite priest. Okay, so Brandon had her husband arrested on a fake charge of murder, and her husband regained his freedom. So she loved her and her husband. I think they had a good marriage. So Brandon caught him again after he gained his freedom. Brandon caught him and put him in chains, okay, in Addis Ababa to prevent him from being a threat to the government. Does that sound familiar? So they said that his imprisonment of her husband was so cruel, the confinement. He was kept in chains so long that his legs became swollen and the metal cut into his flesh. Okay, so she begged for the easing of the conditions for her husband. And I think her husband's brothers were also thrown in jail too. So in 1915, her husband was finally released, and then they went to live together somewhere nice, okay? So Brandon caused all of those problems. So in 1916, a successful coup d'etat against Brandon, the empress here ascended to the throne to become Empress Zewditu. And Brandon's father, a dude named Michael of Wallo, then invaded because he wanted to return his son Brandon back to power. Okay, so they're not finished with Brandon and his family. So Michael invades Addis Ababa to try to return Brandon to power. And then Michael ultimately was defeated and Brandon was finally deposed. And then Empress Zewditu then becomes the Queen of Kings. That's the title they gave her. Have you ever heard of anything like this? Where are the feminists? She was named the Queen of Kings, everybody. The Empress of Ethiopia. Doesn't that sound amazing? Do you hear that, Chris? Can't you picture all of this? This would make a movie. Like, actually, they have made movies about this. We'll talk about that. That's what all the plots from movies, I believe, are taken from this stuff. Okay, so now her cousin, Haile Selassie the First, who is also named Tafari Makonnen, became the heir. So then the empress and her hubby were restored to good graces. Don't you like that? She was restored to good graces. However, the leadership in Addis Ababa were concerned with the influence of her mother-in-law. Okay, so her father had married a woman named Tayatu, but she was a really kind stepmother. So Empress got along with the stepmother perfectly. So her dad, remember, he's dead. So now, they were concerned that her stepmother had too much influence. So they forced her husband. Now, they just got back together after he got out of jail, but they wanted her to be separated, for the husband to separate from her. Now, her stepmother was elderly now, but she was one of those elderly widows, you know. She had a lot of property and had a lot of power and influence, okay? That's why the nobility was nervous about her amount of influence, okay? So her husband, by the name of Ras Gusga, he started a rebellion against her in 1930. Okay, so then the empress's husband's rebellion, where he wanted his wife to. Okay, listen to this. Okay, let me go back. Okay. The empress's husband, Ras Gugsa's rebellion, in which he saw that his wife remained in power and he would become the future emperor. I want you all to hear that. He made a deal that he would become the future emperor. Okay, so the empress here didn't dignify or authorize her husband to be considered the next heir to the throne. So he raised an army and descended on Addis Ababa on March 28th, 1930. On March 31st, 1930, he was met at the border by the Army of the Center. And he was defeated and killed at the Battle of Ankim. And that would determine who ruled the kingdom. News of his death spread around Addis, and the empress died suddenly. So this empress died suddenly on April 2nd, 1930. The rumor is she was poisoned on the defeat of her husband, or she died of shock upon hearing about his death. What do you think happened to her? So she died suddenly. So this is her husband, Haile Selassie. No, not her husband. I'm sorry. This is her cousin who was running, remember, as the vassal who sworn unconditional loyalty to the monarchy. This is Emperor Rastafari. Does that sound familiar, people? Emperor Rastafari Makonnen, aka Haile Selassie the First. So what do you think? Poisoned? So you all are buying that she was poisoned. Isn't that suicide? Ja Rastafari. Doesn't all this begin to sound familiar? I'm not going to get into the Rastafari thing today, but I want to get into that at another time. So now you can see where you probably already knew this stuff, but this is for people that just needed to put together. Okay, so this is Empress Selassie the First, aka Menelik II. So that is his wife. And you can see the family here. Look at the medals. And I want you to look at Haile Selassie the First. Look at what's in his hand in the picture, the black and white picture. And you can see it in the colorized picture. It's in the middle. Do you all know what that is? Because it's seen in a lot of artwork where they're holding this orb that has the special cross on the top. Does anybody know what that's all about? Anybody? That ball? Yeah, what is that? Do you know what it is? 8 Wind says he was raised by a European family. You're saying Haile Selassie the First was? So this is, more of that fanciness. Trying to go to make sure I keep up with my notes here. Here's another shot of the family. And this is interesting because these are princesses. And I want to look into more about where they are and what's going on there. So that was Empress Menen and princesses of Ethiopia in the early 1930s. Empress Menen seated in the middle. So she's the one seated in the middle with women of the imperial family. Standing from her left is Imperial Highness Princess Haile Selassie, her Imperial Highness Princess Tawadros Haile Selassie, her Imperial Highness Princess Zenabewok Haile Selassie, her Imperial Highness Crown Princess Wolete Israel Sayum, first wife of Crown Prince Asfal Wosen. So that would be the women in this picture. And you can see more of the couple, the Haile Selassie the First couple. And now we get to Emperor Haile Selassie II, which most of you are familiar with. These are the men that walk with lions and all kinds of wild cats. I've always thought this was absolutely fascinating. So this is Haile Selassie. Look at the architecture at the top of the building. You see lions. Again, where on the earth do you see lions this prevalent? Anybody know? Has anybody been to a place where they see lions like this and big cats? And so you see the lions everywhere. You see it on the money. You see it in statues throughout Ethiopia. And lions all around the palace. And those look like cheetahs. So again, we have some connection to Josephine Baker, who had a pet cheetah. And here is Emperor Haile Selassie II, and you can see his regalia. What do you think of? I'm really curious to know what you think of when you see this regalia. You think, okay. I hear you, Jim. Because I want to put this together. I am on the fence with Haile Selassie II. I'm going to do a very deep dive on him because I am sensing something that I'm not real sure about. If you all have ever done research into Haile Selassie II, please let me know what you think about him. What kind of man was he? Again, where do you see lions that are crowned anywhere in the world besides Ethiopia, the empire of Cush? Anybody know another country where you see stuff like this? I'm just asking. And this would be the University of Addis Ababa. Now, I want you all to know, and then on the left side, it's more stone lions. And you can see this is old carvings. Now, if you look to the right, that is Addis Ababa University. Now, when you look and kick the wiki and try to find out what year this stuff was constructed, it's the same thing. We get the same narrative where they're not telling us when this was constructed. And when I try to get pictures of Addis Ababa University, some of the buildings, because if you have a gate that looks like this, you can only imagine what the architecture of the buildings would be. When I travel to Ethiopia, I've never gone on the campus, but I always drive by Addis Ababa University. So when I tried to find, because this is the first time in my life I've been this interested in looking at old buildings like this. So when I attempt to find, and if you all, this is my question, can you help me? Okay, I know Betty, are you out there? Anybody? Karen, if you can help me find old architecture that is on the campus of Addis Ababa University, I will really appreciate it for a future presentation, because everything I found is all modern architecture. And when I go to Ethiopia, that's what you can see. It seems like this like press to build skyscrapers. You have China over there, like big planes let off when you're at the airport, let off with, these are huge planes, 747s full of planes coming from China, letting off full planes of people. So it is huge. The presence of China in Ethiopia, I can say personally. And they've exchanged for China to get minerals out of the ground for technology, I think lithium and things like that, in exchange for technology. We've heard that before, right? So they are giving the Ethiopians these deep discounts on Apple computers. You know, over here in the United States, we cannot get deals on Apple products. Over in Ethiopia, they can get deals on Apple products because it was a deal made with their leaders. And I'm going to look into you leaders in Ethiopia, what you've been doing. And so that is why you see such a big Chinese influence over there. And they are building big soccer stadiums and things like that. State of the art. So this is what's happening if you were to see it for yourself. So all of the new construction everywhere, and you see a middle class starting to blossom. And you know, all of your like Ethiopian friends, they seem to be like getting into more of that Western materialism. And you hate to see that happen, because when you visited in prior times, they still have that innocence. You know what I'm talking about? That innocence. They're not tainted as much by the materialism that we are. But when you go to these places, you will notice it has changed. The people have really changed. So I've heard that over in Ethiopia, a lot of the Chinese companies that they've brought over, like textiles, clothing, manufacturing, and they treat the Ethiopian employees so cruel, very, very cruel. So those are, you know, just some things to take note of. And here we are, the again, the imagery of the lion. And this is inside the palace, and you can see all that going on, the throne. And there we are, Haile Selassie with the lion, feeding a lion. And Haile Selassie, he was even in exile for a bit when Italy tried to they were occupying Ethiopia. And so he went into exile over to England. So that's where I have red flags, and I'm going to look into him more. So he was over in England, and so he was like an emperor in exile. And he was giving, you know, messages over the BBC. So that right there, BBC, red flags. You know, in the story 1984, the Ministry of Truth is based on the BBC. If I haven't said that before, I know I probably repeated that. So look at that. Haile Selassie II. He was, you know, he definitely was a very popular leader. So you can see him here visiting the United States when President Kennedy was in power. So look at that. I thought this was interesting. Have you ever seen this image? I come across images that I've never seen before. So you see, I don't know what to think of. I wish Girl Code was in here so she could look at this. Tell me what you think of this. You see the White House in the background. You see Emperor Haile Selassie standing up in the convertible, and you see President JFK sitting in the back seat of the convertible while they are driving with crowds. I don't know. Does anybody know what does anybody have an idea of what I'm looking at? Because it's a head scratcher. right? It's an iconic picture, you say. Have you ever seen that picture? Tell me if you've ever seen it. It is strange, so you agree. Uh-huh. Does that tell you something? It does tell me something. I'm not going to say things too soon, but I'm just saying it's interesting. I'll just say that for now. All righty? Things that you just didn't know. And I don't know, he seemed to have a thing with the ladies. Look at Jackie O over there. She's, playing with her hair like, oh, Haile Selassie. You must say that to all the girls. Look at him. He seems like a smooth guy. What do you think is going on? She seems really like coy and nervous around him. Is that what you're picking up on? Like body language? Right? Where have these pictures been hiding? That's my question, Norleen. I want to know where they've been hiding. Because I just start doing the research and it just starts leading me to all of these little treasures. Right? Very flirty, right? Very, very flirty. That's an honest pick. It's cute. I mean, I'm just saying it's real cute, but I've never seen it. So it was just something that was very interesting. Uh-oh. If you see something, say something. If you see something, say something. While I get some water. What do you see, family? Meep, meep. I don't know this hand signal, but can somebody help me? Because I haven't been able to figure that one out. Anybody know what I'm looking at? Can somebody help us? What's happening? Which one does this, like, okay, we know the hidden hand. That makes sense. But what's this? Does anybody know? Can they teach us finally? I just want to know what's going on. You say the diamond? Monkey Speak says the diamond. Is that what it is, everybody? You guys, the yoni symbol. Oh, goodness. So it's the pyramid. Dana says pyramid. Sunny D, the cabal symbol. I just want to know more about it, what it actually means. I've seen it. A lot of people make this hand gesture, but I've not gotten a full breakdown of what it means. I can guess, like I said, what a hidden hand means and some of the other stuff. Britt Reed says Muslim I don't know. Not sure. Just thought maybe somebody knew. And here is Haile Selassie headed to the city. He's getting off the train, I guess, where he's traveled to Jerusalem. So he was often a guest, a very special guest in the city of Jerusalem. And I thought this was rather telling. When American cinema started to make its way into Ethiopia, can you look at the poster? Now, these are the Coptic Christians. They don't have this kind of like entertainment, but look at the title for one of the movies that they brought as new entertainment to share with the Ethiopians. Is that telling? Very telling. Hollywood and what they do all over the world to pollute. Yeah, you see it, right? Isn't that crazy? So they go and they just, like, the whole plan is to corrupt, right? Just to corrupt and false. So we know what the Faustian offer is, right? That's selling a soul at the crossroads. So there you are with their entertainment. And here we are with the emperor and the queen. So now we have Queen Lizard. He's in the car with Queen Lizard now, the young Queen Lizard. Now, this was interesting, okay? Now, I wasn't sure, but I looked at this really well. And you could tell me if you see it too, but what I see appears to be the British family bowing down to the emperor and empress of Ethiopia. Am I seeing things, or do you see what I see? They're bowing to them because the empress is sitting down, and you can see Queen Lizard is doing like a curtsy bow. Is that what you see? Oh, good. Dana, thank you. You see her bowing too? Okay, and the guy is bowing. Why is Queen Lizard bowing to the monarchy of Ethiopia? You see it? Okay, I just needed some confirmation. Tina sees them bowing. You see them, Ernestina, bowing. Wow. They are bowing, and I need to know what is going on here. I'm going to be on this project. I am going to figure this out. This is my mission, to figure out what I'm seeing. Okay? Let me know what you're seeing. So this is some of the, medals and insignia that you would see representing Ethiopia. Again, these are the lion people. All right, so something's up, everybody. I think that we've been lied to. Time to figure it out, people. And I'm sorry to gross you out on a kind of funny note. Not funny for the lizard, but no, the lizard lived. I saved the lizard. Okay. I know you all probably laugh at me with my Josephine stories, but this is Josephine. And lately, the lizards have been coming in. I'm in South Georgia, and the lizards are always around. You know my lizard stories. So this little tiny lizard had gotten in, and Josephine got him real fast. So he was like stuck on her claw, and I saved him. But you know what? She just like hurt him a little bit, but he was still living. So made sure that he got outside safely. And she had just eaten dinner. So it's not about her being hungry. You know that cats, this is what they do. So what I determined is that I need to stop having sympathy for lizards. Let me know. Do I need to stop having sympathy for lizards? Is it silly? I think Karen had to set me straight on that. And she basically told me, let Josephine be a cat. So that is my meme for today, is let the cat be a cat. Okay? Since we're talking about big cats, let the cat be true to who the cat is. So I'm going to stop having sympathy for these lizards. What do you think? Don't stop. I should have sympathy for them and save them. Let me know, should I? So that is my presentation for now. I have found a lot going on, as you can see. Hi, Ari. How are you? God bless you. Nice to see you in here. So you think I should, Adam says, have sympathy for all living beings. Okay. See, Karen said, let Josephine be a cat. Gemini said, they don't have sympathy for us. I know, right? I just didn't want it to die. It was like a little baby, so I saved its life. Is that what we do? Like we have sympathy for like the lizards, the other lizards too? I don't want to have sympathy for those lizardy, like Queen Lizard and all the stuff they do. So I will be looking into the orphan trains and all of that stuff a little bit more. I may do more pulling out of this storyline, this narrative. I may find some things. If you find anything, please share. Like I said, if you find any old buildings on the campus of Addis Ababa University, please share it with me. Okay. So I love you all, and I'm very excited to receive my Ethiopian Enoch Bible. Okay. So one thing I learned, this is something I learned prior to even getting into it, is that the Ethiopian Book of Enoch has 100 books as opposed to 66 books that we know about. So 100 books. You guys already read it, some of you. But isn't that amazing? Hey, Sequoia, our relationship to earth lizards has interdimensional influence. Oh, okay. Love you, love you, love you all. Thank you. Hey, Joseph, this is my good brother over in Ireland. Sympathy for lizards, not for lizard people. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Yes, that is who wait, I think it froze. Oh, did it freeze a little bit? Joseph O'Sullivan is the good brother that started me on this mud flood journey, who sparked it. Okay, so I want to thank him. And if you so want to tip your hostess, this is how you can do so. Okay, I heard you, and I opened a Cash App. What is it? Cash App. So it's $, Cash App, whatever, JennyEason. So I tried to make it easy, and then PayPal. So I want to thank you if you have tipped your hostess. Thank you so much for the blessings. And I think that's it. So I will see you all soon. Love you. Take care.